Ramo is a brand. Each brand is unique in its own sense. So quickly to recap the first part of what we've discussed. Brands are defined by their imagery, brands exist in people's minds, brands are built consistently over time, and the last one is brands are immortal. So we now move to the second part. The first part was what a brand is. We got a fair idea. I think we are on the same page on our understanding of brands. If we understand that properly, we will also understand personal branding. So let's look at what is a personal brand and how it helps. Okay, it's very commonsensical, but still, let's go through it in a structured manner. There are two gentlemen here, Kamal Haasan and Rajinikanth. Can you tell me what words come to your mind when you think of, let's start with Rajinikanth. Style. Then, superstar. Shout out. Simplicity, okay. Meditation, okay. Himalayas. What else?
Punch dialogue.
His laugh. Cigarette style. What about his glasses? Hairstyle. His smile. Okay. Punch dialogues. What about jokes? Rajni jokes, they've become a cult now. They're all over the world. You know the latest one I heard? Rajni answered a question paper which had 150 questions and it said, answer any 100. He wrote 150, all 150, he said, rascal, check any 100. Right? So it's a part of his branding. And who has created that? His followers. His audience has created that.
Aishwarya Rai has created the new heroine for us.
Oh, okay. So, that's Rajni. What about Kamal Haasan? Okay. Novelty? Encyclopedia? Acting. Now, acting, very, very important. I want to challenge, okay? Now, you never said acting when I showed Rajnikant. Does it mean that Rajnikant doesn't know how to act? You're right. I'm right. Okay. But see, the thing is, that's not the first thing that came to your mind. Rajnikant, I assume, is a good actor, but that's not the first thing that came to your mind. Does Kamala Haasan not have style? He has, but that's not what you said, because that's not the first thing that comes to your mind. So, involvement with the film. Does Rajni not have involvement with the film? He has, but that's not what we said about Rajni. So both of them are very similar, but certain things are more prominent for one and certain things are more prominent for the other. Can you see the difference? That defines the brand. He's personally involved. Okay. So same thing if I were to take another two examples, probably more current. There's no favorites here. Okay, MSD is a favorite, I confess to that. But is there at least cricket followers over here, especially IPL followers? Do you see a difference between the CSK captain and the RCB? Mr. Cool and Mr. Hot-headed. That is just, and a lot of people are already saying that he can't be a future India captain. You can't have that's what people are saying. But that's part of his brand persona. That's what Virat Kohli is. Take it or leave it, right? And MSD is what he is. Take it or leave it. So that's how imagery. So can you see the difference? Some of the things we spoke about brands are true for personal brands also over here. What comes to your mind? Sacrifice, leadership, simplicity. Yeah, simplicity. Okay. So very, very clear imagery. Okay. Service. Love. See, we didn't say love when we spoke about Rajni or Kamala Haasan or for that matter Gandhiji. But we spoke charity. Passion.
Service.
Compassion. Okay. So whether it is brands or whether it is personal brands, the rules are the same. They are defined by their imagery. For that matter, we spoke about Lambretta, BPL, HMT. Now Mother Teresa and Gandhiji, the brands Mother Teresa and Gandhiji, are they dead or alive? They are alive. Unanimous opinion, they are alive. Their bodies are not there. That's equivalent to the product not being there. but their thoughts are there. You know, the ideas that they spread. We spoke about the idea the man leaves behind. The ideas are still there, which means that as a personal brand, if you come out with an idea or if you have a certain imagery about yourself, the brand is still going to be there long after your body is gone. Michael Jackson is a phenomenal example of that. His body is not there, but if you go to YouTube and search for any of his videos, you'll still find him, higher number of, his views are in hundreds of millions of views on YouTube compared to many of the modern rock stars for that matter. So it's the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing. You ask yourself, the rules that apply to branding are the same rules that apply to personal branding. The only difference is here you are the product. So in the third section, we'll look at how to therefore create a strong brand. But this is basically the understanding of personal branding that you need to retain. Now, one key point in this, many a times there is a misconception that only superstars can be personal brands. Dhoni can be a personal brand, and Surya can be a personal brand, but Arun can't be a personal brand. Of course Arun can be he is, right? Whether he puts that swoosh on his head or not, he's a brand. All of us, each and every one of us is a personal brand.
His band is a brand.
Yeah, absolutely. His band itself is a brand by itself.
Brand or wife.
So you do not have to, do not confuse personal branding with image management. A lot of the top stars today, celebs, they have an image management company which manages their image. Like, I was reading about, I don't read newspapers too much, but I came across an article on Facebook. I'm on social media a lot, so maybe that's how, I don't find the news finds me. That's the age we're living in, not change. So Salman Khan keeps popping into my news feed. This is what he did, and he's been in the news for all the wrong reasons. He's been bullying somebody who created 2 blog posts against him, and he had those posts removed. Now his image management company is doing one hell of a job to try and keep his image high, good or positive. That's not what we are talking about when we are saying personal branding. That's a different exercise altogether. It probably requires lakhs and crores of rupees. We are talking about a very simple exercise. You're not going to appeal to half of humanity. You have a smaller circle around you in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, wherever, in the rest of your social circle. You don't need to spend big bucks. You can still create a strong personal brand within your circle of influence.
So the other way around,
Yeah.
Hitler and Bin Laden.
Yeah.
What do you say?
They're brands. Absolutely. They have brands and they have huge amount of followers. I'm not a historian, but I can bet that, for that matter, I can go to the extent of saying that even Ajmal Kasab probably in this country will have a huge number of followers. There will be. There's no right or wrong really. It all depends on how you look at it. So while there will be so many people there will be an equal number of followers So in fact, that's a very important point that you brought up. Branding, as you will see, is always about taking a stand. Like Margaret Thatcher, she said, standing in the middle of the road is dangerous. You get knocked down by traffic on both sides. So you have to choose this side or this side. One of the,
Diana.
Yeah, absolutely, all brands. So personal branding, very simply put, is about creating an identity and expressing that identity. I've chosen these words very carefully. Creating an identity, expressing that identity. And why do we really need to even consider personal branding? Why should we even look at it? Simply because just like there's abundance of, if I want to buy a laptop, there'll be some 22 brands available in the market. I'll be confused. I'll not know what to buy. If I go to a mobile phone shop, I'll go crazy trying to pick one. Similarly, each of us, we do business with a whole lot of people as independent people, or some of us are employees, and the boss has to choose one person to give a promotion to. We have to stand out in the crowd. If you want to get ahead, it helps to be visible. It helps to be known as somebody who is unique, right? So in that kind of an abundance where it's almost led to chaos, it helps to have some identity which is different from others. That's the identity we are talking about. So personal branding is really that structured approach. It's that game plan, which is what has caught the fancy of a whole lot of people. So how do you really look at your brand? If you have never looked at yourself as a brand, the thing you need to do is step out of yourself. Imagine that, with the meditation we did, where imagine your mind is up in there somewhere in the room. So imagine you detach yourself. Keep your body where you are. But imagine you are looking at yourself. Imagine you are over here and looking at yourself. Arun, you are here and looking at yourself. Take a third party view. It's almost like a ghost coming out of you and looking at you, saying, "Who's this Arun? Yeah, who's the sexy guy with the band sitting there, right?" So that's what you need to do. Step out of yourself. And when I say step out of yourself, what I'm saying is, who's the brand manager for brand you? You yourself. Nobody else can manage that brand. You have to manage that brand. So you are the product also, and you are the brand manager also. These are some of the fundamentals of personal branding. The idea is not to leave you with, or if this really excites you, there's enough stuff on the internet and in bookshops for you to learn about personal branding, just as a area of interest. But it's a wonderful way of looking at yourself. So the education that you have, the house that you live in, where you were born, your current lifestyle, all that is defining who you are. All that is defining your current personal brand. You're already known for something. So you can, if you say, from today I declare that I will be a brand. No, you're already a brand. You cannot, see, if I say that I want to launch my own brand of mobile phones, Arun, you and me will get into partnership and we will launch our own brand of mobile phones. Arun, come out with the name and I'll come out with the branding strategy. That is different. When I'm creating a brand from scratch, I can create any brand of any kind with any kind of imagery. But when it comes to human beings, there is no creating from scratch. You are already a brand, whether you like it or not. You want to know how you are seen as a brand? Go and talk to people. They will tell you. They will tell you how you are seen as a brand. So this is, taking that stand we spoke about some time back. If you stand for something, there will be somebody for you and somebody against you. If you stand for nothing, there will be nobody for you and nobody against you. You want to choose? It's better to take the first choice. Take a stand. And sometimes that seems like a very risky proposition. No. If I ask some controversial questions over here, assuming that this represents what the actual spread of the universe is, a whole lot of people will not take a stand. It's quite likely because we are very risk averse. Yeah, we don't want to take risks, but you got to taking no risk is the biggest risk. So that was, in a nutshell, what personal branding is. And I'm just speeding through it to reserve your questions for the end. So if that was what personal branding was, let's also look at how one can create a strong personal brand. In a nutshell, there was a time when I used to do 8-hour workshops on this subject. So I'm putting it down all to about 15 odd minutes, assuming we have that much time. Yeah. You grant me that. Okay. So this is more of I've updated it for this new generation. This is not how. This is in line with something else which I'm doing. There's a workshop I'm going to do in August. It's called Give More, Sell More. So that's what I have discovered, that if you want to succeed in the new generation, whether you are a business, a product brand or a personal brand, what really helps is to have a go-giver philosophy. A philosophy of giving. So I'll elaborate on that as we go along. This is the more complex part of it, which you will learn in books and, if you take a much more detailed approach. But I'm not going to get into the whole thing. This is typically how a product brand also, if Hindustan Lever were to launch a new brand, this is how they would go about doing it. If you were to look at it much more seriously, this is how you would do it. But I'll just give you some guidelines on what it takes to create a strong personal brand. So like I said, the go-giver philosophy. So this is a structure. This is what you would learn in a two-year MBA course in marketing. You know, a lot of marketing people are trained for that. But our job is to keep it really simple. So the Go-Giver philosophy says, you want fire, throw the wood and I'll give you fire. Throw the wood into the, first the wood comes, then the fire comes. You can't first have a fire and then say, if you say, I'm going to throw the wood after I have some fire, it doesn't work that way. So you give before you get. And that is the basis for, the 5-pronged strategy which I use personally, and that's the workshop which I spoke to you. It's based on this, the Give More, Set More workshop. So what is it really? Let's look at it. The first part of this whole thing is, you want to be a strong personal brand, you must create value. And what do we mean by that? Your personal brand must give more in value than it takes in payment. Now this equation is very important. A lot of people say, yeah, I give value. I'm a trainer, I give value. I'm a counselor, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer. I am an employee, I give value to my boss, to my company. Not enough. How much value do you give? It is more important. In relation to the payment that you get. If you're getting 1 lakh payment and you're giving 1 lakh worth of value, not good enough. You want to increase your self-worth or the worth of your brand, you must give more in value than you take in payment. So that's the first thing. And there are lots and lots of ways of creating value. I've just listed down a few. Very, very commonsensical. So first one, simple, excellence. There's no substitute for that. You have to set very, very high standards for yourself. You have to say, I told myself, when I prepared this, when I polished up this presentation, I said mine will be the best I have ever done. I was tempted to say that mine will be the best of the 2-day conference. No, it will be the best that I have ever done. I have to. Only then I will improve. So you strive to deliver that kind of excellence. So you keep a very high standard of excellence, you deliver value. Second, consistency. We spoke about that some time back. Why do brands need to be consistent? Why does your personal brand need to be consistent? Because we live in a very chaotic world. People are looking for stability. There is too much of uncertainty going around. So it's like, this brand always and consistently delivers the same result. So it's a safe choice. It's not some maverick brand which will give something someday and something some other day. McDonald's, we saw that visual some time back. You go to McDonald's in any part of the world, you'll get the same consistent taste, the same consistent service. Now that's, even if it is, the same consistent lousy service, fine, but it has to be consistent. People don't want surprises. The third one, attention to detail. You create value by giving attention to detail. We live in an age where people just, they do a lot of things superficially. We are surrounded by them so many times. Sometimes we ourselves, do that. I do that sometimes, I just take it for granted. But I have to remind myself, pay attention to detail. You pay attention to detail, you say God is in the details, you create value just by doing that. It's amazing. You travel by an airline, for example, or you go to a movie theater and you see small things taken care of by some really good brands. You feel, wow, they are really paying attention to detail. And how much effort does it take to pay attention to detail? Nothing really. You just need to be alert. You need to be just aware of it. Fourth one, empathy. They say in 2020, this will be the single biggest skill that will be required to succeed. To have, they're actually considering empathy as skill. To be able to relate to each other. Imagine, human beings, the greatest of all species, but we have to work on ourselves to be able to really relate to each other. So if you have empathy for your target market, for your followers, for people who you're appealing to, you create value. Isn't that amazing? Appreciation. Sometimes we don't express ourselves completely. Just that little bit of appreciation, that little bit of gratitude. I'm just using these words interchangeably. They say when you appreciate someone, you appreciate. When you don't appreciate someone, you depreciate. So you look at opportunities to appreciate people. You create value. So that's the first one, which is creating value. The second
One
thing,
second.
yeah,
Why you are separated with the iPhone? Any significance?
no, not really. I think I just took, it's, yeah, I just copied it the way it was pronounced.
Okay.
Appreciate, yeah. No other reason really. So that's the first one. Create value was more about creating a good worth for your brand. Now, if your brand, your personal brand is worth a lot, it really means nothing. Really means nothing. I'm going to speed up. But what is the second thing, which is even more important, is to reach out to as many people as possible. It's no use just having a valuable personal brand. It's important to touch people's lives. Okay, simple question. What is common between the 6 images I'm going to show you now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mass appeal. Simple word. You're making it faster for everybody. Arun, you please go and sit right at the back. Mass appeal. They touch millions of lives. You know, suppose that's something. They touch millions of lives. All, people are, you think some of you are less talented than Michael Jackson? In whatever sphere of field you are? No, not necessarily. But the difference is he touched millions of lives. Some of your children could be as good cricketers as some of the players over there. But the difference is that they get paid in crores because they touch millions of lives. So you touch people's lives, you're onto something big. Ask yourself, therefore, as a personal brand, how many lives are you touching? How many lives are you adding value? People who are adding value to a whole lot of lives are probably earning more. That's how a personal brand really gets successful. So reach out. So like I said, creating a strong personal brand is a matter of impact. It is not a matter of worthiness only. It's a matter of impact. How wide is your reach? Okay, the third one. Simple really. Build networks. What do we mean by that? This is one term I created just last week. Influence creates affluence, not the other way around. If we think that affluence, which means money, power, all that creates influence, which means people with money, people with power are influential. I'm saying it's not that way, it's the other way around. Influence creates affluence. And what creates influence? Putting other people's interest first. Okay? So your personal brand's influence is determined by how abundantly you put others' interests first. This is again part of the Go-Giver philosophy, which means your interest is before mine. I'm not completely giving away my, I'm aware of my self-interest, but your interest is more important than mine. We are not conditioned that way, to be frank. We have to work on it to put the other person's interest first. So that's, a personal brand comes in handy over there. 3 simple magic words which define success for businesses, brands, product brands, personal brands. You need to have a network which knows you, likes you, trusts you. If you have a bunch of people who know you, like you, trust you, they will give you business. Either they will give you business or they will tell others about you. They'll say, hey, he's a nice guy. I know him, I like him, I trust him, give him business. So simple. You don't have to do a 2-year MBA to really figure out how to do business. Just ask yourself, how many people know me, how many people like me, how many people trust me. There is this great automobile salesman called, I think his name is Joe Girard. Yeah, Joe Girard. He's quoted by the Guinness Book of World Records as the all-time great salesman. Now he coined this term called Law of 250. And what he said was, for any normal person, on an average, 250 people will surely turn up for his funeral whenever he dies. Which means that that person has at least 250 known contacts. And what he always therefore said was, whenever you are not giving good service to somebody, good customer service, or you're not treating somebody properly, you lost 250 potential sales, not one. Similarly, if you make a positive influence on somebody, if you put their interest before yours, you made a positive influence on 250 people, not just one. Now imagine you yourself have 250 and 250 into 250. That's huge, right? So this multiplies the impact of your personal brand. Okay. Key point. We've all heard of win-win situation. We all think it's a very good word. Now I'm going to change the paradigm. It's not just win-win. Win-win is more about you win, I win. Still 50-50. There's a change here. You change that paradigm to, if you win, then I win. Which means my win is about yours. It's not, my win is not independent of yours. If you win, then I win. Change that thinking to that. And that's called putting other people's interest first. Okay, I'm going to just speed up a little bit. We've covered this concept. The fourth one. We're coming towards the end of this presentation now. The fourth thing, be real. Very, very critical for personal branding. Don't try and put a mask. Personal branding is not about creating some false image about who you are not. You can't do that. If you do that, you have to be authentic. You try and pretend to be somebody else, you will never be successful as a personal brand. So you have to be real. You have to be, that is the most valuable gift you can give somebody else. Yourself. That's the most amazing gift. And most of us, what do? We try and be somebody else. We try and copy. Oh, let me be like Sagai Raj. Let me be like Arun. Let me be like so and so. I admire somebody else. So shift from impressing people to expressing yourself. You express yourself, they will automatically get impressed. But don't try and go out of your way to impress others. Okay, the last one, stay open. Personal branding, you can do all the giving in the world, but the fact is, this is through this example I want to demonstrate to you. At this very moment, all of us are breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide. That's what the whole world is doing. At this moment, all over the world, there are a lot of trees and plants which are breathing in carbon dioxide and they are breathing out oxygen. Amazing. In fact, their giving is our receiving and our giving is their receiving. There is no giving that can happen without receiving. Giving and receiving is one continuous process. So you need to give as a brand, but you need to also be open. Be open to miracles. Be open to success. So keep it open to receiving. I'll take 2 minutes and I'll sign off with one small